Now, I'm sure I'm not the only person that has that one embarrassing drawer in their house stashed full of Polaroids that didn't quite make the cut. And I'm not talking about 1 or 2 or 3 frames. I'm talking about a whole bunch of Polaroids that they just suck. Now, sure, I could throw these pictures away, but what if I told you there was a process that you could use in order to turn these less than stellar pictures into beautiful, unique, one-of-a-kind pieces of art? Well, look no further, because today we are going to be diving into the magical world of Polaroid emulsion lifts. So what is a Polaroid emulsion lift? Simply put, it's a creative process where you'll take a Polaroid and you'll cut the image out from the white border and submerge it into hot water. And this is where the magic happens. The emulsion layer, the bit that holds the image, starts to separate from the plastic layer. And then you can transfer that image onto a variety of different materials. For today, we'll use watercolour paper. From then, you can manipulate the picture, you can create interesting creases and patterns on the image, and you basically have created a unique piece of art out of something that was sitting in your drawer. I haven't done an emulsion lift in probably well over a year, so I thought it'd be fun just to document the process, and hopefully it inspires you to try something new with Polaroid. So let's go. So before we begin, let's go over the equipment that we're going to need. We need some sort of dish. I'm using this old Pyrex dish. We need some paint brushes. We also need a pair of scissors, your Polaroid of choice, and some watercolour paper. We also need some hot water, and we need some cold water for later. So just to start off with, we're going to cut out the Polaroid. I like to go as close to the line as I can. It doesn't have to be perfect. So now we have our Polaroid all cut out, and usually what you do is you peel it off of the back, the black layer at the back. But because this is a really old Polaroid, I'm contemplating just putting it directly into the water and loosening up the glue a bit first. So let's see if that works, because I don't want to damage the picture. So we're going to place it face down in our dish, and we're going to pour the hot water over the Polaroid and all the way around, and then just let it sit for a minute. I'm hoping this loosens up the glue enough so I can peel off the back layer. Just going to let it sit there for a minute, and then I will see if the back layer comes off. Okay, so I've let this loosen up for about a minute or two. I'm going to just take it out very carefully and see if the back layer comes off without damaging the picture. I can already see that the corners coming off over here. I'm going to very, very, very carefully peel off the back layer. And it's okay if you tear the picture. There's no mistakes here. We're here to just have fun and enjoy being creative with no pressure attached. So now that we have the back layer off, we can just leave that to the side. And again, we'll place this face down into the water. Now, this is an act of patience. We don't want to rush this process. So I'm just going to submerge the picture, and I'm going to begin to wash the sides with my brush. And I don't know if you can see, but at the sides you begin to get little air pockets underneath the emulsion, and that's what we're looking for. We're just going to take our time, we're not rushing it. So as you can see, there's bubbles beginning to appear underneath, and I'm just going to gently keep pushing the water underneath. And if you need to, you can always add more hot water. This water I boiled in the kettle about 10 minutes ago, so it's pretty hot still. Now over here, this corner is beginning to lift. You've really got to do this gently. You've got to take your time. I can see this corner is wanting to go, so I'm going to gently just encourage it so I can get more water underneath. So the sides are beginning to come away now. The nice thing about emulsion lifts is you can really get creative with it. I think after this session, I might try and do a layered emulsion lift with 2 or 3 pictures layered on top of the other. I think that could look really nice. I'm just going to check the temperature of this water. It's cooling down quite quickly. So the emulsion has almost separated from the plastic, and it's completely natural to start to worry because the emulsion kind of flaps around and becomes a bit wild at this point. There's one corner that just doesn't want to come off. Now the emulsion has separated from the plastic, so we're just going to remove the plastic quickly. Let's pop that off to the side. And now I want to try and turn it over. It doesn't have to be perfect because we can always manipulate it when it's on the paper. That's fine. You're going to take your watercolour paper and you're going to place it underneath and try and catch it. It's okay to bring your brush back in if that helps. I'm gonna try and tease it over here a bit. I want to try and get it as central as I can. I will then take one of the corners and at this point I just start to try and frame it up nicely. Now I like how that side looks, so I'm going to do my best to keep it there. I don't like to play with this too much because I find the more I try and manipulate it, the less it works out for me. So I'm already quite happy with that. See, I'm playing with it now and now I'm making mistakes. So at this point, I am very happy with how this looks. I'm just going to let it drip dry for a minute. I don't know if you can see, this is actually a double exposure of me. I'm over here and the flowers. So I'm just going to change the water quickly because it's a little dirty. Okay, so I'm going to still use a little bit of hot water, but I'm going to add some cold to it because I want the emulsion to set again, if that makes sense. So we have the lift, and I'm just going to gently use another brush and tease the corners just to create some interest. Again, I don't like to overdo this part because I don't feel like it needs too much. I prefer to just let it be what it wants to be. And if you don't like what you've done, you can just wet it, like you see, and start again. You can also use this side of the brush if you prefer, but it just feels a little bit stiff to me, so. And I'd love to know if this has inspired any of you to try emulsion lifts. And if you do give it a try, please let me know in the comments section. I'd love to know how you found it and if you found this video helpful. And there we have it. Your one-of-a-kind, unique Polaroid emulsion lift. I'm going to leave this to dry on the side for a day or two, and if the edges curl up, you can just pop it into a book and flatten it out again. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope this has inspired you to try something new and creative with instant film. But other than that, I look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you so much and have a wonderful rest of your day, guys. Bye bye for now.